lot of quality is on sale right now as these, quality junior babies are being thrown out with the lifestyle junior bathwater during this tax law selling event. So, it's a great time to have a watch list of well-researched juniors to get into, to scale into right now, because basically, while these things are being thrown away, the quality juniors have done the right thing. They cashed up at the right time. They got cash through 2022, and they're de-risking high margin projects that make good money. That would make good money at $1,800 gold.
Welcome to Inside the Markets, official podcast of StockPulse.com. Joining me today, David Erfle, the Junior Miner Junky, to do exactly that, talk some junior mining. So, David, appreciate the time here as always. It's been a bit. Selling may go away in this sector. It's been a pretty rough summer here for some of these juniors. So let's, before we kind of get into them, I guess, let's get into the overall action here, the playing field. How do you see the overall landscape of the precious metals markets right now?
Sure. Yeah, it's really starting to get interesting in the precious metals market again. Pretty much everyone's been black bearish lately about the gold price, and especially the juniors. And most people have been running away from this sector for a while, for June, basically, when the Fed came out and jawboned a possible taper in the not too distant future, as opposed to the distant future. Well, we had that flash crash a couple weeks ago where opportunistic shorts got together and had an opportunity to run some stops down to really strong support down at that 1675 level. But it shot right back up. And the key thing to look at the flash crash is that gold never made a weekly close below that 1750, 1760 area, which has been a key support level. So now the gold price has gotten back above 1800, and a good thing to gauge right now is recently the gold price has been getting safe haven bids along with the US dollar because of this Afghanistan debacle. And also more recently, the last few days, the silver price has started to lead gold again. That was a very ominous signal the past few weeks, was not only the shares, but the silver price was showing relative weakness to gold. So it was making a lot of people. But we got now we've got the Delta variant has basically made the Federal Reserve make an announcement last Friday that their central banker confab there in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, is going to be virtual. So I have a hard time seeing the Fed coming out on Friday when he makes his Jackson Hole speech saying that they're going to taper anytime soon if the conference just went virtual based on the Delta variant making the economy weak again. So the gold is sensing that. But I think the most interesting thing that's taken place in the gold market recently was last week. I was warning my subscribers. I was warning people that, hey, there's a couple of key levels to take a look at here on the gold stocks. If you take a look at the GDX, it's kind of made a double bottom here, it looks like, on the 30 area, and it's held up much better than the HUI, which is the gold bugs index, which doesn't contain any royalty streaming companies. So the reason why the GDX has held up so much better is because the royalty streaming companies are a big component of that index. And the royalty streaming companies have been holding up really well this year. So there hasn't been any tax loss selling in them. So basically, back to my original point, was there's a couple of lines of support that I did not want to see broken on both the HUI, which is the 250 level, and the GDXJ, which is the 41 level. And I warned that, hey, if we see weekly closes below these levels, we could have like a capitulation panic type ending to this year-long consolidation we've had in this sector since August of last year, when gold peaked at 2089. So we had that weekly close last week below these levels. And I sent out note to my subscribers saying, well, hey, look, we've got to be alert here. We got to look at some possible optimum entry points on our stocks in case there's this capitulation selling event. We could get some really great deals on some of these stocks. Well, on Monday this week, those levels were taken back again. So this kind of a little mini bear trap reversal took place in the shares, right? Where the gold price jumped back over $1,800. So I think that might be a sign that this capitulation selling in the juniors might be over. We'll see. I'd like to see a weekly close back above those levels this Friday, which is when that Jackson Hole speech is, and the market has been waiting with bated breath whether whether the wizard Jerome Powell is going to say anything about tapering anytime soon, which I don't think he will. And since this move down from June has been taking place because of this taper talk jawboning, if they're not going to taper anytime soon, I see the gold stocks starting to play catch up again to the gold price.
Yeah, we certainly laid out some key points there, and really kind of looks like it's a nice little setup here for the fall with what you just described. So yeah, let's get into the junior resource market here and talk about some of these juniors that have been beat up, frankly, liquidity gone. Vacations probably actually did happen this year, so they should be setting up for a pretty good fall. So yeah, talk about, I guess, the wind that might be behind their sails here moving forward.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic time to get interested in this sector again. I mean, the last 2 years, Rob, we haven't had summer doldrums in this sector for obvious reasons. For the last few summers, there's been reasons to have the gold price break out and people buying gold. But after the gold price doubled, from its late 2015 low to its 2020 high at 2089, it doubled in 4 years. So that move needed to consolidate. The market needed to digest that move. And now that this has we've had summer doldrums for the first time in a while. And that is also it coincides with people going on vacation for the first time in like a year and a half, right? Everybody's taken off and they're out enjoying their lives for the first time, right? So basically, tax loss selling, which has not been predominant in this sector for the past few years, took place this year in June. So, when all these other sectors are going up, stock market and just about every other sector, while gold, this little tiny gold market has been tanking, has been consolidating this move. Why should I own gold stocks? That was everybody's pretty much ploy. They're saying they're calling their brokers while they're on vacation, saying, look, get me out of these positions. And, maybe I'll buy them back in a month. Because that's the wash trade rule. You sell something for tax loss, you can't buy it back for 30 days until 30 days later. So they're selling quality along with the crap stocks, juniors. So a lot of quality is on sale right now as these quality junior babies are being thrown out with the lifestyle junior bathwater during this tax loss selling event. So it's a great time to have a watch list of well-researched juniors to scale into right now, because basically, while these things are being thrown away, the quality juniors have done the right thing. They cashed up at the right time. They got cash through 2022, and they're de-risking high margin projects that make good money. That would make good money at $1,800 gold. So it's a great time to scale into these things right now, but you really got to know what you're doing, because let's face it, 85 to 90% of this sector is garbage.
Yeah, let's dig into that next here. Not knowing what you're doing, one of the toughest sectors to manage to begin with. You really need a pro. So we'll get into your services here in a minute, and if that's a possibility. Let's give a little free advice here from the Junior Miner Junky here. You eat, sleep, and drink this stuff. What are going to be the sectors that are the areas of the mining sector or junior resource that really will take off first here? Are they looking for explorers here? Is that a little too dangerous right now? What's the first one to move here?
Well, what's happening with these drill plays, these early stage explorers, is any news release that is coming out right now during the summer is used as a liquidity event to sell for tax loss. No matter even if they're fantastic results, unless they're bonanza great, we've made this major discovery, right? But if most of these press releases are being used as liquidity events to sell for tax loss. So as far as drill plays are concerned, I kind of wait on those, because when a sector makes a significant bottom, which I believe the sector is in the process of doing right now, the first companies to move are the royalty plays and the major miners. Your Franco Nevadas, your Wheaton Precious Metals, your Newmont, your Barrick, your Agnico Eagle. Those are the ones that start to move first. Then you have the mid tiers start to move, and then you developer explorers, that are de-risking high margin projects. So if you're a long-term investor and you're not just looking to day trade something for a quick pop, the best things to look at right now are developer explorers in a safe jurisdiction that is de-risking high margin projects that are large district scale, and they have a serially successful management team that has taken a stock from discovery to a buyout in the past.
Yeah, certainly. If you don't have a good management team, good leadership, you're probably not going to be successful there. So, yeah, let's get into that side of this, David. Running these companies responsibly, that's the key to success, I think. Obviously, you identified that. So, I hear so much that the drill bit is the truth machine, and that's really what will indicate if a project's going to make it or break it in a company. But I'd offer that maybe the share structure is the real truth machine, because if you don't have a good share structure, I don't care what you find, you're going to get sold off, and that's happened to a lot of these guys. So, yeah, these CEOs, I don't envy their position. They have to finance, but at the same time, they're diluting their companies. They have to have that covenant discovery. So, yeah, I guess how do you identify these? The Junior Miner Junky, this is your job here. So yeah, get into how you find these guys.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a lot of luck, but serially successful management teams, they put themselves in the position to get lucky. They do a lot of due diligence on a property before they purchase. A big one to look at, Rob, is how many shares they own. Do they have any cheap paper? Did they get cheap 2-3 cent paper? And do they own shares that they've spent their money on? How much do they own? Do they take part in the private placements when they take place? It's the people. It always comes down to the people first, because a great management team can take a mediocre project and make money, but an awful management team can take a fantastic project and lose money. So that's the main thing to look at. I know probably, people have heard this before, but it's absolutely true. And share structure is a big one. I do look at that. A lot of these companies, they just keep issuing warrants. And, you got to look at these things and how many warrants do they have out? When do they come due? If there's too many shares out, that's going to limit the upside on the stock. So, right. That's why right now is such a great time to look at these things, because top tier jurisdictions are on sale. When these up legs get going and they start to mature, you have to, if you still want to participate, you have to go down the food chain and take a risk on riskier jurisdictions or riskier management teams or whatever. But now quality is on sale. This sector is, what historically it swings, it has a pendulum swing from extreme greed to extreme fear. We had extreme greed in August of 2020 when people should have been trimming profits. Now we have extreme fear when people should be scaling into positions to hold before the next up leg begins.
Well, you certainly set the table here for a nice fall and how to identify some of these companies. So appreciate that. So yeah, David, before I let you go here, I want you to let people know how they can follow and find you and utilize your services. You certainly painted a picture of how they are going to need you. So please.
Sure, Rob. If I write a weekly column for Kidco, it comes out every Friday, and my website is www.juniorminerjunky.com. And I also have a free newsletter that you can sign up for, as well as my subscription-based newsletter. The free newsletter basically gets my column in your inbox and links interviews like this one along with column.
Okay. Well, appreciate that, David, and we'll look forward to checking back in when things heat up in the fall.
You're welcome, Rob. Always great talking with you.